Normal Civiless runs require you to head into the nether, find a fortress, and fight through waves of blazes and wither skeletons just to make progress. But honestly, I don't fancy my chances against that right now. So I pose a question to you. Is it possible to summon and kill the wither without ever stepping foot into the nether? Well, that's the challenge of today's episode. Welcome back to Civiless. Last episode, we ended up curing a couple of villagers and we made a massive dent in the mob farm. We also got ourselves up to ascent level on the apothic stuff, which means we can also try and get to summit. Oh, we need to kill the wither. I wonder if we'll do that this episode. But first, I just want to say our base is looking really dodgy. It's a bit of a lawn base at the moment, and I do want to change that. The problem is I tend to be better at building in like creative, and so I'm going to do some cool designs in the meantime, and I'll probably want to remake the starter island and make it look good. Oh, hold on. We just got our first wandering trader. This is a big moment. And what does he sell? He's got a pretty good pair of boots, so I'm not entirely sure whether we'll kill him or not. But either way, I definitely want to capture him in a mob swab. There we go. A mob swab crafted up like so. And I've got to be careful. Oh, he almost just fell off. Right, okay, let's grab that. Make sure to avoid the llamas. Right, perfect. We got the wandering trade up. Now it means we can kind of deal with the, how do I say, the other people. Something I hadn't considered last episode is that I can make flint shears. And in this island that we made last time, I can pick up the cobwebs. And I didn't realise this, but the cobwebs can actually be used to make the explorer's compass, which can help us find structures. So we could find the blaze fortress today. Great, so I've cleared out that island and we've got a load of mushrooms, sauce berries, and obviously all the cobwebs that I spoke about earlier. So I'm going to put them away in the chest. Jim jump scare again. I have a quick question for you guys. I want to keep in the spirit of keeping this a challenge run, and so I'm wondering if we should limit or restrict the usage of gears or bees or mystical agriculture. I think I'm going to focus on the unconventional methods for resource production anyway, but I'd like to get your opinions as it might be quite fun to add some additional challenges throughout the series. So feel free to comment and give me some thoughts and ideas below. Also, whilst you're down there, like and subscribe. Remember, 93%. In the meantime, I really want to sort out our storage system, and the best way that I think we're going to be doing that is using the storage lectern from ours. It requires us to get into the enchanting apparatus thing, but now that we've got the diamonds, we can unlock that. And we could also get a bookworm charm by using the Ritual of Awakening, because we have every single one of the Ars saplings as well. So if we follow along from the Ars questline, the enchanting apparatus also requires this arcane core and then a few of the pedestals as well. So I'll bookmark both of these and we'll get on to crafting them. We're also going to need another ritual brazier because I'm going to keep that one running down there. The Tablet of Awakening requires the flourishing archwood log and then every single one of the saplings mixed with 4 source gems. So we'll just craft that up as well. And we're going to need a book and quill. Ink sacks and feathers are a little bit tough because we've not got any passive farms and we don't have a way of getting squids apart from the market, which I believe it sells squids and it should also sell chickens. Perfect. Right, so we'll just need to get 2 diamonds. Right, there we go. So I'll just spawn both of these in and then we'll, unalive them. How polite of me. We got leather from last episode, so I'll craft the book and quill and we should now be able to begin getting our bookworm set up. So I'll do this on the mycelium island over in here. We'll have this as like our little mini Ars island for now. And if I place down the arcane core with an enchanting apparatus on top and craft ourselves a lectern and 4 chests, we can now go over to our enchanting apparatus, place down either platforms or pedestals. It doesn't matter. The platforms are just the smaller version and we need 4 of them like this. We can then place chests in every single one and we should now just be able to right click it with the lectern. And fantastic, we're now generating ourselves a storage lectern. Ta-da, fantastic, check that out. We're also going to need a Dominion wand which requires 2 source gems, 1 gold ingot and then right click it with a stick inside. So we'll do that now with the exact same setup that we had before. It doesn't matter where you place them, you just have to place them in the pedestals and then right click it with a stick. Well, hey, there we go. I'm going to grab our ritual brazier, pop down a Tablet of Awakening on top of it and then right click it with a book and quill. And then if I right click again, we should get the bookworm charm. There we go. I'm wondering if we can push 1DT into that boat and keep him for later. Hopefully he doesn't wander off. Let's try and get him in there. Perfect, right, okay, there we go. So we now got the wandering trader in the boat as well, so we can keep him for those later. It's safe to say that 1DT did not like this, and he ended up despawning about a minute later. In the meantime, I'm going to now plop down my storage lectern, right click it with a bookworm charm, and now these mobs, man, they make so much noise. And you'll see if I hover over it, it says 0 connected inventories. What we can do is then just shift right click one of our chests and right click it, and that will connect it to the storage lectern. If I right click, I can then see everything that's inside that chest. For every bookworm that I can have 8 inventories connected to it, and a chest, despite having 2 blocks, only counts as 1 inventory. I showed this off in the tips and tricks. You can have an item vault with create. Yeah, like one of these massive ones over here, and that counts as 1 inventory. It's crazy. You can have 8 of these, the max size ones, filled up with just 1 bookworm charm. In the meantime, what I'll do is just add every single one of these chests to the storage lectern And now we have an interface for all of our stuff. We'll definitely be replacing this with applied energistics, but this is great for a starting point. And it means I can just open up the inventory and literally just dump all of my items. Fantastic. That feels so good. I can also remove every single one of our oak barrels and crucibles now, because we've got our way of generating water. However, now that we've got mycelium, we can now generate witch water. And you just place a barrel down here, place a water bucket over it, and you'll see there's a progress bar at the top. Once that reaches 100%, there we go, it turns into witch water. Now, witch water has some interesting properties. You can use it in a lot of the block generators to generate stuff like endstone, netherrack, darkstone. But I have a bit of a nifty idea. If I pop this in our mob farm, it turns skeletons into wither skeletons and creepers into charged creepers. And I'm thinking I might be able to just right-click one of these creepers with a flint and steel. There we go. And then it blows them all up. And I think I should hopefully get one of the skulls. Okay, it didn't work that time, but wow, we got netherite already. Wait, so since we got that netherite, I think I might be able to get a netherite scrap out of this. We do, we have two. I didn't expect us to actually get netherite this early, but I don't think there's anything particularly that we can do right now that I had in mind. But now that we've got netherite, we should be able to get 8 of them to make a geode. Honestly, I don't know what I'm saying. It's 9 scrap to make a geode. Okay, let's try again. We've got in here, we've got some skeletons, we've got some zombies, and we've got a load of creepers. If I then right-click the witch water to get the charged creeper, and then right-click with a flint and steel, other than taking a load of damage. Ah, there we go. Yeah, we did get one of the heads. Yeah, hold on. We got a creeper head. That's pretty cool. So not only is that a faster way to kill mobs, but we can also get some of the mob heads like creeper heads. In fact, let's pop this on. Oh, yeah, that's a little bit terrifying. Don't wear the creeper head. Well, that's blinding. I really want to try and get some wither skeleton skulls because I think we might be able to try and get a wither. That's a shame. We got another creeper head. But we did get some rare boots, which I think that might be enough to get us to the next tier. Yeah, so Summit just requires us to kill the wither, but we've now got every other requirement for that. I feel like the wither's going to happen this episode. So I kept on farming the mob farm using our new technique of getting charged creepers and then blowing them up with a flint and steel. And eventually I got my first wither skeleton skull. Did we? Oh, wow. Okay, perfect. We got our first wither skeleton skull. And I don't know whether that was from one of the creepers or just from one of the wither skeletons anyway, but hey, that's really good. In the meantime, let's get back to our villagers. I want to have these guys be more accessible than just sort of in their form here and having a big villager trading hall. And we can use containment jars for this. But that does mean that we need to get the tablet of containment, which requires not much really. It does require manipulation essence. And we got very lucky last time because it was one of the random quest rewards that we got. But we might as well make a few more of this. A, so I can show you guys how to make it, and B, just because I think we're going to need quite a bit of this anyway. So that just requires a button, redstone, and a clock. And again, like last time, all you need to do is place down 3 pedestals, put an imbuement chamber here, pop those items in the pedestals, and grab yourself some source gems and just plonk it down here. That will now craft the manipulation essence. I'm going to grab one of these source jars as well, and yes, I'm not going to pick from the end this time, and that should hopefully speed up the crafting of manipulation essence. Perfect, there we go. That's how we're going to get it. I'll also grab some more of this abjuration essence. Now, because we're trying to kill the wither this episode, there'll be a lot of split up clips of me going back to the mob farm and doing a bit more farming, but occasionally we find something quite interesting. Oh, what? Oh, sick. I didn't know you could get this. You can get an Enderman head. Oh, even better. Look at that. If you look at it. Oh, that's so cool. And it gives off a power level depending on how long you're looking at it. That's really cool. Oh, awesome. I don't know whether that's got any other uses, but hey, that's really cool. So we're going to craft that tablet of containment, and we also need to get ourselves some containment jars. This is what we're going to be using to store the mobs, and clearly we're going to need a bit more archwood. For now, we're only going to need 2. Oh, in fact, that's all we can craft anyway. But I also want to craft this glyph of dispel, and I'll show you why in just a moment. That's going to require us to get 3 milk buckets and the abjuration essence that I picked up earlier. And we've got our mushroom over here, and I don't know where the wandering trader's gone. It seems to have disappeared. I thought they couldn't disappear if they were in a boat. Oh well, the more you learn. And we'll grab 3 milk buckets here. If I now craft the dispel glyph, we'll select it there, and all the items will come in from our chests, which is fantastic. Oh no, they'll go straight from here. I didn't realise that would happen. That's really interesting. And perfect, the glyph of dispel. And I should now be able to go over to my ritual brazier. In fact, I might as well just get rid of this one. We're not going to use it for a while. And if I place down 2 containment jars over here, and then a source jar nearby so the ritual has some source, and use the tablet of containment, we should find that both these villagers go into... Oh, okay. Oh no, this has gone pear-shaped. Right, I need you in a boat before you're going to cause more damage. Oh, he's already walked off. Hold on, mate. Where are you going? Go in here. Okay, perfect. We've got him secure now. In fact, this is a perfect time to explain what I was going to show you earlier. Now, If you want the tablet of containment to stop running, you can give it a redstone signal and that will stop it. You'll see all the particles are gone and it will no longer put things in jars. Now I've got my boat trapped in here and clearly I don't want that to happen. And I can make a spell that's just simply projectile dispel, and we'll call it dispel. And if I right click with this and dispel onto this jar, it will then release the mob up into the air. In this case it's just a boat, so that's fantastic. We've now cleared that out. And I can pick up the mobs and I have them in jars now. So this is a cheap way of having something like the mob imprisonment tool or the just die things creature catcher. And so what I can do is build a little bit of a cage, maybe cage is not the right word, for our villager like this, and so that he can't escape. Again, I'm really not helping myself here. And if I place our villager just down here and use dispel, there we go. And then if I break the containment jar underneath him, we've now got our villager where we want him. Now I want to turn this villager into a Fletcher. The fletching table is what we need for that, and it's a really easy recipe, wood and flint. And if I place this down, he then turns straight into a Fletcher. And look at that, we get a discount on our stick trade. So obviously I'm going to craft a bunch of sticks up to try and hopefully claim him as our stick guy. And look at that, we've now got emeralds. 16 of them to be precise. We can make a geo and more. And now that he's a Fletcher, what we can do is re-enable our tablet of confinement. It'll pop him in this jar over here. And I can now interact with this jar instead of him as an entity. He doesn't require a workstation to work anymore, and now I can just plonk him anywhere I like. So I could have a whole wall of these guys over here. Now I'm going to wheel this guy all the way back to where he came from, and hopefully we can do the same with him. What a fun way of getting around. So if I place my jar down now, in fact I'm going to place both of them because I don't know whether I'll be quick enough for this, but I'm going to break this, turn this on, and don't run away, don't run away. Yes, perfect. Okay, we got him in the jar. And we'll do the exact same with him. There we go, perfect. And to be completely real, we could have a bunch of different villagers, but I think for now, I'm just going to have 2 fletching villagers. I really want those sticks to emeralds trades. There we go, we've now got him as a Fletcher, and we'll trade the sticks with him. So I'll just pop him in a jar as well, and then add him to the wall of other villagers around here. Now I can sense in the comment section I'm going to get some questions about why I didn't put an applied energistics villager. I know that if I got into applied energistics right now, I'd have a complete applied energistics system. The problem is, once you've made a system, it's so hard to move it, and I guarantee if I made it right now with my awful little lawn base, it would just give me less reason to move. And I do not want that right now. So unfortunately, applied energistics is going to have to wait a little bit. Hopefully until I get my base sorted. Whilst I'm here though, I'm also going to grab this mushroom and try and bring him over and coax him into a containment jar. Perfect, there we go. And there's 2 reasons for that. One, if I right click him with a bowl, I now get mushroom soup without needing to right click the entity. I can also do this for milk buckets as well. Plus it means that the mushroom is not actually contributing to the peaceful mob cap, and we're trying to get some peaceful mobs now. But for now, he's also going to be plonked down next to the villagers over here. In the meantime, using my technique of getting charged creepers to blow up and give us the skulls, we've actually got a bit of a stockpile here, but more importantly, we've now got 3 wither skeleton skulls. Technically, we've also got these skull fragments here, and that gives us, well, another 7. So maybe we'll have a few more. But I've got a strategy that I think we can kill the wither by episode 3. All I'm going to need is to grab some soul sand, which we've now got here, using the technique that I showed off in last episode. But for this technique, we're going to need ourselves some tinted glass from mob grinding utils, and make sure it's this tinted glass, the one that says tough enough to withstand withers. And as far as I can see, we can use our glass and coal shards that we got last time, and we can craft quite a lot of this. 52, that should be enough. Episode 3, we are now going to defeat the wither. How crazy is that? We've not even gone to the nether. Now this might not work for you. Please do this at your own risk. I feel like it's going to work. I've not had this go wrong in creative yet, but this might be the first time. First of all, make sure you're in a claimed chunk. I'm in this one here, for example. If I press M and go to my map, I can see that I'm in a claimed area. And if I press F3G, I'm in within these borders. I'm going to place a 3x3 of tinted glass, go up 2, and make a ring around this one here. There we go. So we've got this weird hourglass shape. I'm going to pop out the middle one and then go up by 3 blocks using the wand. And then cap off the top like so. I'm going to jump down. I MLG'd that one as well. Check that out. And we're going to bonk out that middle block there. Now, if all has gone correctly, I'm going to place my soul sand in like this and stand back. And we should have a wither spawned inside this, and it shouldn't break any blocks. I'm going to stand far away. I do trust my own builds, I promise. There we go, perfect. And moment of truth, if I hit it, it might break blocks, so let's see. Nope, perfect, fantastic. We've now cheesed the wither. And you can just keep whacking at its legs. We're going to kill this in no time. I'm going to try and crit it so we can hopefully speed this up. Whoa. What on earth's on this sword? Oh, right. Enemies below 20% max health will get executed. Perfect. Wow. And there we go. We have the first nether star in this world. We haven't even gone to the nether. What? Also, I don't know whether you saw, but we got the achievement for summit as well. We are now at the 4th highest difficulty, but this one here requires us to get to the Ender Dragon, so we're not going to be doing stage 5 to this. We now have the ability to get flawless and perfect purity items as well as drops. We are definitely going to activate this now. I'm going to also try and kill the other 2 as well. Surprisingly, knowing my luck, this actually went alright and the wither behaved for once. And we got both of the other nether stars. Perfect, there we go. 3 nether stars in total. The worst part is I don't actually know what to do with the nether stars. We can get to the Archmage book, but we haven't got anything else. Yeah, I'm really not sure what we should do with this. One thing I do want to craft is the Soren compact machine, which I guess we'll get to another time. But if you've got any other ideas of what we could do with the nether stars, leave them in the comments. I'm interested. But for now, we can now break this setup. It took seconds to make, so we'll make it again later when we need some more nether stars. And we could really do with some copper, so I'm going to try and get some of that using our already existing mob farm. If I place some water buckets next to these trapdoors now, like so. Oh, this guy's in the way. All the mobs that now enter here, the zombies should now drown and become drown zombies. And drown zombies drop copper. And I tell you what, we've just got a netherite helmet from one of the drops. Mana boost 4 and mana regen 3. That is crazy. I'm definitely having this. And there we go. So now we have some drown zombies. Now these 3 probably won't drop a copper ingot. Oh wait, hold on. One of them did drop it. Wait, 2 of them dropped it. What? Wait, how many did we need? How many did we need? We need 10 in total, right? Oh, okay, so we've only got 1 there, but that's really lucky. I don't know what the chances are on that, but that seemed really weird. We're also making a massive dent in our netherite scrap. Now, I believe netherite scrap is only going to take, I believe it only takes 9. Yeah, 9 scraps to make an ancient debris geode. So we are really close to that threshold now. Now, something interesting to note is I'm able to right-click mobs in the containment jar to actually be able to swab them. So right now, I've got the villager DNA just by swabbing the containment jar. So I didn't have to dispel them or get them out or anything like that. I might as well also craft up a magnet, considering we've got the resources for it. I don't think I can get the next upgrade because that requires blaze powder, but maybe that's something we should get into next. In the meantime, I'm going to turn the magnet on by just right-clicking it and popping it in my curio slot right there. Also, I can hear all the drown zombies turning, so I might go and harvest these as well, and hopefully we'll get lucky. Okay, maybe not that time. But we did get our first mythic piece of armor. This looks insane. This is crazy. And we also got our first mythic chest plate as well. And hold on, did we get... Enables elytra flight. Hold on, are we now able to fly using an elytra? What? Have we got flight? This is so goofy. Yeah, I mean, I guess this works as a flight method, but I'm not going to count it. I'm definitely not going to be using this. But that does mean that we can get our first God-forged pearls, our mythic rarity pearls. But I think it's time to make some more stone block generators. Here we go. So we got 3. Now, I want to upgrade these to the copper tier, but we don't have enough copper to actually do this, so I'm going to wait for the drowned farm to produce some more. I'm definitely going to want to generate netherrack and obsidian. We could also do with getting some cobbled deep slate, but we need packed ice for that, so that might be a little bit later. We might as well also do endstone whilst we're at it. I don't see a use for it, so I'm not entirely sure what we can actually do with it. Because normally that'd be really useful for something like sieving, but I don't really see much of a point. But we might as well get it anyway. We also got another copper ingot from the drowned farm, so hopefully we're getting closer and closer to that 10. I'm going to keep all of them in my inventory, and I'll keep you updated. So I then crafted up 2 singularity tanks. Then I needed a block of glowstone for the endstone, and a block of redstone for the netherrack. The redstone we already have from the geode, but the glowstone I believe we got from killing some witches earlier. So I think the first generator we're going to make is the obsidian generator. It requires the lava, but the source block's consumed, and the water over here. Oh, hey, we got a pig. I didn't realize we got a pig. I don't think we have a use for them. I was hoping to get some of the Ars mobs, so he's going straight off the edge. Now, we need to get 1 obsidian to start this all off, so I've got a oak barrel down here. I'm going to right-click it with a lava, and then we'll add some water over the top. Oh, no, we won't. I'm going to try that again. There we go. So now we've got obsidian, and if I pop this under where it's going to be generating, and then pop the stone generator on top and provide it with water and running lava, it will now produce obsidian. Now, in the recipe, it did say that lava is getting consumed, but it also allows for flowing lava to get consumed. So that's actually really useful for us. So all I need to do next is pop a drawer on top, and now we're generating obsidian. And I might as well make this a full block here as well. Next up, I want andesite, so I'm going to plop an andesite block there, a stone generator on top, and we just need water and lava. So I'll pop some lava just over here, and the water's also coming in. So there we go, we've got andesite. Pop a drawer on top, and there we go, it's all coming in. We'll do the end stone now, so very similar setup to what we had last time. We're going to put the glowstone down here. We're going to put a singularity tank down on this side, and then we're going to put some of our witch water in. Now this counts as a witch water block. We don't actually need to have it in the world. We can have it in a tank. And like last time, we're going to have the flowing lava coming in, and that should be endstone. Check that out. Also didn't mention it, but I think tuff might be really useful as well, and we can make tuff using the deep slate that we've already got and a manipulation essence to craft just 8 of it. And then we're able to generate it using the block generator here with water, lava, and putting tuff at the bottom. And to get netherrack, we just plop a redstone block down there. We have some more of the witch water, so we're going to plop that there, and then running lava as well. And in the middle, obviously a stone block generator. There we go, we've now got netherrack. Perfect, so now we've got an entire row of generated resources here, which is really helpful. And I know it looks ugly, but the whole point of this is it's going to be building resources for next episode, where hopefully we can build our new base. Let's see what we've got in here. There we go. How many have we got? We got 8. 8 copper ingots. We are 2 off. And since we've now got obsidian, you probably know where we're going next. I now want to go to the nether. And I know I've done this in the wrong order. I've killed the wither before I've actually gone to the nether. But I'm just going to make a quick and dirty nether portal over here. And let's just inspect our nether side, because I don't actually know what it's going to look like. Okay, and whoa, this is creepy with the shaders on. I did not realise how this would look. And yeah, just as I expected, we got a completely empty nether. So that leaves us with 2 options. We can either use the explorer's compass to try and find a fortress, or we could try another method. And I think I'm going to go for the other method just because I don't think I've shown it off before, and I think it's kind of interesting. And that method is going to involve us crafting the nature's compass. It's just a regular compass surrounded by logs and saplings. And I'm actually going to turn off shaders for this because it's a little bit jarring. Now I'm going to use the nature's compass to try and find ourselves a basalt delta, only 128 blocks away. That's fantastic, and it's in this direction here. Using slabs, I'm just going to bridge out to try and find that basalt deltas. And I'm also going to put some lights along the way so we don't get any mob spawns. Unfortunately, that light trick does not work at all, and I found that out very quickly. Oh, we're getting mob spawns. Oh, boy. Yeah, we really are getting mob spawns. Right, I don't have a spell for you. Oh, no. I guess I'm going to have to get return to sender then. Brilliant. I'm going to make a projectile harm spell as well, because I don't trust these ghasts that are coming out, so hopefully this will do some long-range damage. And I can already see the biomes changing. I think we're very close to the basalt deltas. So now that we've got into the basalt deltas, I'm now going to make a platform, and the best way to do that is by putting out one slab like that and then using your iron stick or whatever stick you've got available to just extend this platform out like so. We don't need it to be that big, just need a little bit. Cool, okay, a platform like this should be plenty fine. Now I'm going to move over here and we should now just get a bunch of magma cubes spawning in like so. This literally took less than a second. And we're going to murder them, brilliant. Now I'm trying not to knock them off the edge, so I've got to be a bit careful here. Oh no, I already fell off. Right, slash home. Okay, luckily I survived that. And we've already got one of the items we need, which is the molten core. Now, I need 2 of them, and I can then make blaze rods that way. So we don't actually have to go to a blaze fortress to get them. So now for the long journey back to the basalt deltas. Now, luckily it wasn't too far, but I've got to be careful I don't get pushed off again. And the other mob that can spawn in a basalt delta is, oh, you guessed it, our friend. Oh dear, no, 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 no. And we got bonked off again. Right, starting to think my plan is not the best here. Actually, I've just realised I could just use the balloon on a stick, and that should hopefully prevent me from any of the creative flight problem. Okay, never mind. So I think I've died a few too many times for me not to try something completely different. Oh my gosh, we finally got 10 copper ingots. That's incredible. I can get rid of the water up here. Hey, there we go. I'll pop that away for now because we'll deal with that in just a moment. We're going to get into reforging, and the way that we do that is by crafting up an enchanting table and then the simple reforging table. So to upgrade to the regular reforging table, we need to get a netherite ingot and some nether bricks. Now I've crafted up a few nether bricks here, and then we just need to get ourselves a netherite ingot, which do have enough scrap for, however, no, we don't. Right, I need to go and turn this into a geode and we'll get a few more. And since we've also got the copper for the other geode, I'll do that one as well, so we can do 2 at a time. There we go. We've got the ancient debris one coming in. And then we've also got the copper one as well. So let's get these ones going. We've got the copper and the ancient debris one, so let's get cranking. So I then cranked it straight for about 10 minutes. Hold on, I can't say that. I can't say that. And we got ourselves a wandering trader as well. What does he sell? Have we got anything interesting? Ooh, we got melon seeds, which I think we can get from the marketplace anyway. And we've also got packed ice. Now, we needed packed ice for the cobbled deep slate, I believe. Yeah, we did. Okay, I won't buy this because I'll actually get it through the legitimate way, so I can actually show you how you can do it. But for now, kind of an interesting trade. So cheers, Mr. Wandy T, but we don't need you now. So I'm smelting up all of our copper right now into molten copper and then hopefully pouring it out into the casting basin to make blocks of it. And that is looking pretty good. And hopefully that cools down and we get ourselves the block of copper. Fantastic. Great. Interestingly, with the ancient debris shards, you can turn it into ancient debris here by using 9 of them. Or you can smelt them directly in a foundry and you'll get 1 scrap for 1 ancient debris shard. I think that's much more worth it. You can cast it out using an ingot cast into netherite scrap as well, which is really handy. Okay, so the way that we make this ingot cast is by blending up 4 iron ingots with 4 coal. Now, I think we can also use the coal shards, the coal geol shards. I'm just going to use regular coal here because I think we've run out. And if you've got a lever, make sure to turn that off so that the items can mix together. So once you put both of them in the foundry, it'll melt them together and create molten steel. Now, if I take away one of my casting basins and pop down the casting table, I whack an iron ingot on top and then pour over this, it will make a mold. And it does take the 4 steel to do this. So it then uses up our iron ingot to create that ingot cast here. So I can go ahead and smelt up our ancient debris geol shards, like so. So now we've got 25 scraps. And I can come round here and quickly plonk down a hopper facing here, and then move our lever from where it was just here to right next to the tap. So that means that we're not going to be casting it into the casting basin. We're just going to be doing the table. And hopefully, if I press this, it should then melt it all down and we get netherite scraps. Fantastic. This is looking really good now. We've got 5 blocks of copper, a load of diamonds and redstone, and we're finally getting our scrap back. This episode seems to be tangents on tangents on tangents. Anyway, like we were trying to do, we're trying to make the reforging table. And so that requires the netherite, which we've now got access to, and those nether bricks that I made earlier, and we should now have the reforging table. So I'm going to grab myself a basic diamond sword here. And if I plonk down the reforging table, you'll see if I open this interface, I'm greeted with something that looks a little bit confusing. To actually use it, I'm going to need the sigil of rebirths. Now, I'm going to craft up quite a few of, well, actually, no, I lied. I'm going to craft up 6 because that's all I can. But you use this gem infused slate, which is just deep slate and then gem dust. So I'm going to craft a few more and then hopefully we can get quite a bit. There we go. We've got 24 of these sigil of rebirths. And then what we're going to be using is the rarity material stuff from Apotheosis. Now, I'd like to use the Godforged pearls, but I don't think I can afford it. But I'm going to pull all of these out, just have a quick look. And so we open up the reforging table. Now, we can shift click our item or put it in the middle and you'll see this really nice animation. If we shift click our rebirth sigils, they go in the bottom right and then our material goes up in the top left. Now, I'm going to put in the blue one, the rare material. Gives us 3 different options at the bottom, each with a different sigil of rebirth cost and the material cost. Now, what I'm looking for is something like, you'll see the 3rd bullet point. Attacks have a 45% chance to also hit up to 4 nearby enemies. I've noticed we have a lot of quests going on right now, and I haven't completed a lot of them. And we need 60 levels, so we are only at 27 right now. It's going to be a long time, so I might just go and do this. If I press collect all rewards, this is going to spam everything, and I'm hoping it's not going to overfill our system. Look at that. What is that? Well, we're at level 101 now, so that worked. But we've got tons of items. I seem to have got a random reward of a beehive, but I can't see the quest that gave it to me. And that then unlocked the honeycomb. And I don't remember if you remember last episode, but there was a quest to do with if we got a waxed copper block, it would give me 8 copper blocks. So I feel like if I just do this and then wax it and pick up the item... Yeah, there we go, the chipped copper quest. And chipped copper, yeah, there we go, 8 copper blocks. Brilliant. So that's a really good tip if you need more copper quickly and you've got honeycomb. If not, you can get into bees. It doesn't take very long. So we can now make this sword. Actually, what if I put the Godforged pearl in? Do we have enough for that? Wow, hold on. I'm just going through this. We have access to this second one here, which gives us the 50% chance to hit up to 4 nearby enemies, which is what we wanted. But it also gives us loot pinata. I am definitely going to have this one, and I'll explain why in just a moment. Wait, does this have 5? Oh my gosh. Right, so this also has a 5.75 entity interaction range, which means I've got reach here. There, so that's my reach distance to hit this zombie piglin. I can hit him from over here. Anyway, let's go back over to what we were dealing with earlier, the magma cubes. Now, I'm hoping that I can proc loot pinata with this, so we'll see. But I did. Instantly procced it. Wow. Occasionally, there'll be a massive firework go off, and I'll get a load of items. We'll see if we can get it to happen again, but you'll hear the fireworks sound. I then went on a magma cube murder spree. It was crazy. There was absolutely tons spawning in, so I definitely recommend this if you're trying to get some of the molten cores. So Loot Pinata has a chance, like it says, 4% chance. When you kill an enemy, Loot Pinata basically drops that amount of items multiple times, effectively being a pinata. And so we had that proc a couple of times, one for magma cream and then one for a bunch of molten cores. So we actually got really lucky here because we can now convert all of these into blaze rods, and we've got 32 now. That's really good. But in the meantime, we should be able to upgrade our spellbook from the novice tier into the mages tier, which is great. We can now cast the tier 2 glyphs. And one of my favourite tier 2 glyphs is Crush, but I'm sure we'll get into that another day. We also have access to AoE and Extract, two of my favourite glyphs. AoE is crafted really easy. You just need a firework star, which is just a dye mixed with gunpowder. There we go. We've got a firework star. And for Extract, all we'll need is an emerald. So that's great, we got the Extract and we got AoE. So let's say I have the basic spell, Projectile Break. This allows me to shoot one of the grass blocks and it will break it and turn it into dirt. But then we can start adding augments, and that's what the yellow tinted border is around them. We can add Extract, which as it says applies Silk Touch when breaking the block. So we can now just right click and we'll now get grass instead of dirt. We can also add AoE, which increases the radius of the target block. So instead of breaking just that one, we can now break a 2x2 square. The good thing is we can also add as many augments as we like. So right now I've got, well, a massive AoE here. So if I just right click this area, you'll see it breaks a 5x5 area. How cool is that? And it's not just break. We had that conjure terrain that I showed last episode. I can do the exact same and just place it here. And now we've got dirt being generated in a 5x5 area. I can also combine them. So in this case, I've got touch, break, 4 AoE abilities, and then extract at the end. And that will apply silk touch to everything that I break. And for my next trick, what I'm going to need is some mycelium. If I combine mycelium with the manipulation essence, I now have access to moss blocks. And moss blocks aren't particularly interesting, but they're a building resource that I really need. I love moss. It's perfect for my builds. And we can also turn it into stuff like biomass as well. So I think that's the end of this episode. It's been a good one. We went to the nether and we killed the wither. We actually killed the wither before we even went to the nether. We got ourselves the copper geode and the ancient debris geode and finally reached the summit tier. But I'll see you next time. Take care.